live in Costa Rica in the city this evening. Decided it was time to get away from the jungle abode and take a night out in this kind of colorful place over there. Anyways, nonsense, you get the point. We're gonna be diving in and taking a look at Bitcoin as it's run up into our 16,000, almost $500 mark, starting the first of what I believe is the end of our SOS phase. How exciting that was. We're gonna take a quick look at Ethereum, Chainlink. We're gonna go over the volatility index, S&P 500, and the DXY. We're gonna make it a rather quick video tonight as I have sushi on the way. But thank you guys all for joining us. If you have the time, give us a thumbs up, give us a comment, give us likes, share these videos, all that fun stuff. And we're gonna dive in. So, boom, on the daily, you can see we have Bitcoin open right now. I like to start where I have a full view of everything we've been watching for the last few months. It just makes things easier. For those of you that are new to the channel, what we look for is accumulation and distribution patterns. Accumulation at the low and a distribution at the high. Now, we've actually been in an accumulation period and the markup is just about to happen. I believe we're gonna see a big run up. Now, part of the question that everyone wants to know is, do we see, $20,000 first? I've stood by the assertion since we were at around $11,000 that we would go to approximately 17,000, around 16,500, 17,000 on the kind of peak out of that. Now, what I like about these accumulation patterns is that we know once we break out for that SOS, we're headed for a backup phase. So now that we know the backup phase is likely going to come into play after this, what we're looking for is a new trading range to take place. So whether we get to 17,000 or not is unimportant. What I'm looking for is how low we come next, how high we go after that, and then how low we come one more time. So this, I actually kind of feel we're probably going to get like a rising gradient bottom, something like this, as we had watched in the past. For those of you that know, it means our accumulation channel would come through the side like this, and we get a rising gradient bottom. We wouldn't get a spring that went all the way down, but we'd go up this whole time. Bitcoin is just so bullish, and we know with a limited supply story, it's very likely that's going to happen. So let's take a look at the weekly, and let's try to look at some of our let's take a look at our RSI, our moving average, divergence, etc. So back down here near the bottom of this chart, you can see in Bitcoin that we had, when we first started our bull market, we peaked out, dropped back down, peaked out, dropped back down, peaked out, dropped back down on the RSI down here between 80 and 56 apparently. So we peaked out at 69, dropped back down to 56. We're peaking out here at around 80. I do suspect we're going to get that pullback. Now, markets, like when they're healthy, they like to pull back. So if we were to get a really nice, beautiful touch of this 21-day moving average, which is the white one, if I take and remove my charts here, this white moving average is my 21. I've got the 9 in purple and the red as a 55 as a simple moving average. So in the weekly, we actually look for a retest of this 21 a few times. Preferably, we would like to see it a few times before I consider this a healthy bull market. The fact that we haven't come back down to touch it yet is likely where we start to form that new trading range. So somewhere, I believe, somewhere around here. Yeah, around 12,000 to maybe 13,500, 13,800 is where I expect the bottom of this trading range to start to form. Something like this. That would be great to see. Now, if we go and we use Ethereum now, actually let's take a little bit more look at Bitcoin here. If we scroll through the daily, you can see that we have some clear divergence. We're much higher and lower on the RSI right now. So we've got a rising price gradient and a falling RSI. Now on the 4 hour, it's probably even a little more obvious. Here you can see that last peak out that we had at 15,608 upwards to 16,500, and we are still declining on the RSI. So this is near the end of the SOS. I do believe, and I've said this since we left $11,000, that I believed 16,500 to 17,000 something would be the end of the SOS. So I do believe we're there. I don't think we're going to just rip to $20,000. If the big boys are here, they're going to want to play this really well. So they're probably going to liquidate a bunch of their holdings just to buy back in around that $13,000, $12,800 area. I don't want to get too deep into Bitcoin right now, just because I believe we've gone over it so much. That this final SOS that we've been waiting for is awesome. And then the next, what we can draw on here is the backup phase. That's going to be our sweetest. So for those of you that don't know anything about what we're talking about, go ahead and join our private group. It is a mastermind group. It comes with a newsletter. We do updates. We create educational content. And we have a fantastic community of people who are always there helping each other out. If you go down to the links below, you can join that if you want. We're going to be doing an educational series on leverage trading, margin trading, future options. So if you haven't yet, or even if you have joined Binance, Bybit, or FTX, cancel your accounts and go reopen them under Arcane Bear so I can make money off your guys' trading. I'm kidding. Do whatever you want. It's just for fun. We're just having fun over here. But definitely try the newsletter because it is a no questions asked refund guarantee. So there's no risk to you to try it. If you're not happy, we'll just give you your money back. And if you are happy, you get to join a group of a growing community of over 500 private investors and traders who have been having a great time in these markets. I'm going to take a look at Ethereum now. So while you're doing that, give us a thumbs up. Leave us your thoughts in your comments. Do all those fun things. Anyways, I probably don't need to ask you guys that, but I'm just so used to doing it on YouTube that I think that's the main course. So here we have Ethereum open on the daily now, and as we can see, the similar kind of conjecture came out. You saw your SOS from the top of the box out to the top of the SOS before we finally broke back down and started this new trading range. And this new trading range is really where we started to build up, where I started to build up my position around 380 to 390, and I've been leaning into that since then. So as I've said multiple times in the private group that my goal is to acquire on these LPSs. If we come back to an LPS around 430 on this for Ethereum 2, I will reaccumulate there even more of Ethereum. I think Ethereum is highly underrated to some degree. I think its bull market is going to be equivalent to Bitcoin. If not just, whether it's a bit more or a bit less, it's unimportant. I think it's going to make a monster move in the long term. It just makes sense. So I think one of the things that we can do here to be calm during the markets is really take into account all the things that we use as our kind of preface for market trading. So right now we're going to open the door on Link, and we're going to be taking a look at this rising gradient bottom. Now I think one of the things that's most important to take a look at here is the movement through this horizontal trading range. Now, I had mentioned multiple times that this rising gradient bottom is an important and a type of trading range because it's so powerful. But one of the other important things to it is to remember that even though it's a rising gradient bottom, we move through the channel like this effectively. So this was our first SOS here, and this is our first stage of, I guess kind of a second stage of our backup after the SOS. So because we have these moving forward so powerfully, I'm a big believer that both Link, Bitcoin, and Ethereum are going to become market leaders. Obviously, a lot of people believe Bitcoin already is a market leader. I agree. I think it's the money of our ecosystem. But Ethereum and Link provide a whole new kind of ball game of what we can do with this technology. So I'm going to dive in lastly to the VIX and the US dollar chart. And kind of keep it a brief video this evening. So the volatility index, it's nice to see below our multiple month trend line since the beginning of January 2020. We've had this trend line that's gone all the way back to the beginning, and we've broke below it for the first time after those elections. Whether they'll be contested or not, who knows? We'll find out in a few months. But nonetheless, the volatility index is trending lower, which is hugely positive for us because it means stability is coming back into these markets. I'm going to take a look at the S&P 500, and we're going to kind of finalize here but we've been watching what I believe is going to turn into a reaccumulation period with the S&P 500, and this will be very bullish for our market as well. If we come down here, close above, this is a huge indicator that we are going to see a massive bull market, not just in Bitcoin, but in almost every asset that's out there. So I'm going to take one final look at the DXY. I believe I have it here at the top. This is the dollar index chart. What's nice to see is this trading range that we had been watching, and we have drawn back whether we're going to get a rocket or a dump here. We've not, this is actually starting to look like weakness in the US dollar. So this looks like it's turning into potential distribution with your UTAD and your LPSY here. If we close below this, it's going to be even more negative for the dollar. I think that that's the case. It makes sense for a few reasons. They're going to keep printing, and because of the global export-import world, they actually need that. Anyways, we're going to leave it at that. Exciting times. I hope you guys are all enjoying your longs in either Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Link, because they've been fantastic for everyone in the private bear den. I'm really excited to be able to share this stuff with you guys. We're going to be spending at least until March in Costa Rica, and then we're going to jump on the road, maybe check out Dubai and some hiking in Canada, some camping time, maybe even go snowboarding and wakeboarding, all that fun stuff that we like to do. Maybe even jump off a mountain with a paragliding thing in the background. I really appreciate all your guys' support. Thank you to all the private bear family for helping me help you guys, because it's not just me that's in there. All of you guys, as you learn and you help out other people when I'm not around, is extremely beneficial. One of the easiest ways to learn how to do something is to teach someone else. So once you know what you're doing and then you go and you help someone else do it, it's a lot easier. Like my crazy hair. Anyways, the tea with the Arcane Bear. I'm thanking you guys all again one last time, and we will see you again on tomorrow's episode, because we're going to produce one episode, maybe even two, going over what it's like living in Costa Rica. Thank you guys. See you again on this side.